What's up guys, Alvaro here. Welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. On this channel we talk about the markets, but we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. And in this video I want to go over AMC Entertainment, GameStop and Workhorse. Are momentum stocks dead, guys? Is this the end for meme stocks? So in this video I want to break down some technicals, update you guys in regard to the short interest of these three stocks, and I also want to show you some divergences that are happening right now in the markets that could potentially affect most of the meme stocks out there. So without further ado, let's get started. And the very first stock of this video is going to be good old AMC Entertainment. And yes, what you guys are seeing on your screens is not a chart of AMC Entertainment. This is a 4-hour chart of the S&P 500, which is by far the most important index out of the bunch in the United States stock market. But why am I showing you guys this chart of the S&P 500? Pay close attention over here. The S&P 500 reached yesterday a new all-time high at 4,355 points, and take a look at the RSI of the S&P 500. It is at 84 points on the 4-hour chart, so we can make the case, and we can say for sure actually, that this index is extremely, but I mean extremely overextended. And if we take a look at the Nasdaq 100, which is the second most important index of the United States stock market, we find pretty much a similar situation relative to the S&P 500. The Nasdaq 100 reached yesterday a new all-time high at 14,738 points, and take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour of the Nasdaq 100, guys. It is at 81 points. So in the upcoming days we are going to see two possible scenarios when it comes to these two very important indices. All right, these indices are going to either trade sideways for, I don't know, 1 week or 2 weeks, so the relative strength index of these two indices can come back to earth, all right, or we might see a pullback, a decent pullback in the case of these two indices. So my question is, since the volume that most of the meme stocks out there have been trading with has been decreasing in the last 2 weeks, if I am just, speculating over here, guys, are meme stocks, or let's say, could most of the meme stocks out there going to be able to hold their current levels if we happen to see some sort of decent pullbacks in the case of the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500? That is a question mark that is over there, right? And something else that I wanted to show you guys is a chart of the Russell 2000. So we find as of now both the S&P and the Nasdaq 100 extremely overextended. However, the Russell 2000, which is the index in which most of the meme stocks trade in, well, the situation in the case of the Russell 2000 is, the flip side. The Russell 2000 hasn't done much since early February, and this index has been trading inside this horizontal channel. And we have a huge, but I mean a huge resistance at 2,362 points, which is an area of resistance in which the bulls of the Russell have failed on 1, 2, and 3 occasions before. So I ask a question over here, guys. What happens if the bulls of the Russell happen to be able to take on 2,358 points and break out to the upside? Because the Russell, guys, is as of now only 2% below the upper line of this horizontal channel. All right, so if the bulls happen to be able to burst above this very important area of resistance that also coincides on the 4-hour chart with the upper line of this horizontal channel in which the Russell 2000 has been trading since early February, so I think that momentum could kick in the case of the Russell 2000, and that could be very beneficial for stocks such as AMC and GameStop that trade inside the Russell 2000. So watch out for a breakout, for a potential breakout on the Russell 2000 that could help stocks, as I just said, such as AMC and GameStop to regain momentum. Or maybe, guys, who knows, what happens if the Russell 2000 keeps on trading inside this horizontal channel without breaking out, and on the flip side, the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 take a hit, let's say a 5% hit? So are most of the momentum stocks going to be able to hold the current levels of support if the major indices happen to see a decent pullback? That is a tough one, guys. Or what happens, guys? What could happen if the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P pull back, say, I don't know, let's say 5%? And what happens if the Russell 2000 also pulls back along with the major indices? Are the meme stocks going to be able to hold the current levels of support if the Russell 2000 happens to pull back as well, along with the major indices, and taking into account that the volume that most of the meme stocks have been trading with has been decreasing on a consistent basis throughout the last 2 weeks? That's a tough one, guys. That is a tough one. So this is a puzzle piece. It is on the table, and I am just putting this information on your radar so you guys can be mindful of this, right? Because this really caught my eye. And now let's go ahead and take a look at AMC Entertainment. And in the case of AMC, guys, in yesterday's trading session, we broke a very important area of lower support at $52. AMC had held $52, guys, as a lower support since 14 trading sessions ago. So the fact that that area of lower support was broken to the downside is a very bad sign. And take a look at the volume, guys, and this is something that I have been pointing out in my most recent videos. The volume of AMC has been decreasing on a constant basis. Actually, yesterday's trading volume was 77 million shares, whereas AMC's average intraday volume is 152 million shares. So this is starting to get a bit ugly for the bulls of AMC. And you guys know that I own 50 shares of AMC at an average cost of $61, and over here I have an unrealized loss of $400 approximately. I was actually thinking, guys, about averaging down that position if I happened to see AMC holding $52 or keep on holding $52 for a few more trading sessions, but since that lower support was broken to the downside, I am just going to hold my shares until the bulls of AMC can take on the two very important areas of resistances that they have in front of them. The first one, $58, which has already acted as a resistance for AMC on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 occasions before, and then the other very important area of resistance for AMC at around $65, which is an area of resistance in which the bulls of AMC already failed on June 17th and also on June 15th. And mind you, guys, the short interest of AMC has decreased a bit. We find AMC's short interest as of now at 17%. AMC's shares float as of now is 499 million shares, and the shares sold short are 102 million shares. So let's see what happens, guys, because yesterday AMC closed at $51.96, down 4.17%. So the regular trading session, guys, was closed slightly below $52. However, the bulls managed to close the after hours session slightly above $52 at $52.91. So I am going to be patient in the case of this stock, and if the support of $52 happens to be broken to the downside, guys, then the next very important area of support for this stock is going to be at around $45.77, which is an area of previous support that already acted as such for AMC on 1, 2, and 3 occasions before. And the second stock of this video is going to be good old GameStop, ticker symbol GMST. And in the case of GameStop, guys, this stock went down in yesterday's trading session 0.75%, and it closed yesterday's trading session at $202.83. And in the case of GameStop, guys, GameStop is trading inside the Russell 1000. This stock was recently upgraded to the Russell 1000. So it is no longer trading inside the Russell 2000, which is the index that I just showed you guys, and that looks very healthy, and that it is trading inside a horizontal channel, and it looks like it could potentially break out sooner rather than later. So the 4-hour chart of the Russell 1000 looks as overbought and as overextended, just like the charts of the S&P and the Nasdaq 100. So the $1 million question over here is, if the Russell 1000, which is the index in which GameStop is trading in, pulls back, is GameStop going to be able to hold the current levels of support? If the index in which this stock is trading in happens to see some sort of decent pullback? So take a look at how overextended this index looks, with the RSI being at 77 points. So this is another puzzle piece that is on the table. And in the case of GameStop, guys, I own 20 shares at an average cost of $202.85. And over here, I have an unrealized loss of 96 cents. And I actually opened this position in yesterday's trading session once I noticed that GameStop was paying a visit to the lower support of $200. The short interest of GameStop has decreased a bit. We find GameStop current short interest at 16%, and the total shares float as of now is at around 57.9 million shares, and the shares sold short are 11.9 million shares. So let me zoom in here on the 4-hour, guys, and yesterday we broke, or the bulls of GameStop couldn't manage to hold a very important area of lower support at $200. So I think that the lowest that GameStop went in yesterday's trading session was $196. And take a look at this coincidence, guys. Let me pull up here the 1 hour, and once the lower support of $200 was broken in yesterday's trading session, the bulls of GameStop managed to find support at the very same price, $196, at which they found support in the trading session of June 21st. So the fact that GameStop found support at that price was not a coincidence. So in the case of my trade, guys, my price target is going to be an area of resistance in which the bulls of GameStop have failed on 3 occasions in recent days. $226. Take a look at how the bulls already failed at that price on 1, 2, and 3 occasions before. And if I pull up once again here the 4-hour, where could GameStop go, guys, if these 2 levels of support happen to be broken to the downside, $200 and $196? Well, if that were to happen, guys, I think that GameStop could potentially find support at another area of lower support at $174. Take a look at $174. Is a previous area of support for GameStop that already acted as such on 1, 2, and 3 occasions before. So $200 or $196, guys, is going to be a critical area from a technical standpoint for the bulls of GameStop. And even if I zoom in a bit more, take a look at how here we have a potential death cross. I mean, it already unfolded, guys. Take a look. We have the 50 SMA crossing below the 180 SMA. So this is a bearish sign that could be potentially signaling more downside for GameStop. So watch out for the $200 or $196 as lower support for GameStop. And I am going to be closing the position that I already showed you guys at $226, in which case I am going to be making a 12% profit. And the last stock of this video is going to be WKHS. Workhorse. And in the case of Workhorse, we find by far, guys, the highest short interest out of the 3 stocks that I am breaking down in this video. 36%. Unbelievable. And keep in mind, guys, any short interest above 10% is already high. Any short interest above 20% is considered to be an extremely high short interest. And in the case of Workhorse, it is 36%. So Workhorse shares float as of now is 113 million shares, of which 45 million shares are shares that were sold short. And in the case of this stock, guys, the volume is not being really an issue to be worried about. So Workhorse average intraday's volume is 18 million shares, and yesterday's trading volume was 15 million shares. So let me zoom in here on the 4 hour, and Workhorse went down yesterday 9.40%, and it closed yesterday's trading session at $14.15. So from a technical standpoint, guys, $15 is a very important area of either support or resistance for WKHS. So $15 already acted as a lower support for this stock on 1, 2, 3, and 4 occasions before, but it also acted as a resistance for Workhorse back on April 1st. So the fact that Workhorse closed slightly below $15 is going to imply that on Tuesday's trading session, $15 might act as a resistance for Workhorse. So if the bulls of Workhorse happen to fail at $15, I think that the next important area of support for this stock is going to be at around $13. $13 is a previous area of support that already acted as such for Workhorse on 1, 2, 3, and 4 occasions before, and on top of that we have the convergence of the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart at $13. So I think that $13 might be an interesting spot to pick up some shares of Workhorse. And take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour, guys. It is at 30 points. So Workhorse is entering into oversold territory, and we can make the case that if this stock happens to pay a visit to $13, the RSI is going to be even lower, and that is going to increase the likelihood for the bulls of Workhorse to find support at a previous area of support that on top of that is backed up at the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So if I happen to buy some shares of Workhorse at $13, I think that the most reasonable price target that I am going to be looking for is going to be at around $18, which would provide me a profit of almost 40%, guys. And take a look at how $18 is such a critical area of resistance for Workhorse. So the bulls of Workhorse already failed at $18 on 1, 2, and 3, and 4 occasions before. And let me zoom out here, guys, to see if $18 is another area. Yeah, it is also a previous area of support that already acted as such for Workhorse back on December 2nd. So watch out for Workhorse, guys. I think that $13 is a very interesting spot in order to pick up some shares of this stock, and the short interest is insanely high. So I think that this stock is a very strong candidate in order to be involved in a short squeeze. And with Workhorse, I am going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays as soon as the market closes, or 2 or 3 hours after the market closes. So on those videos, I break down from a technical standpoint both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100, which are the most important indices of the United States stock market, and I also break down from a technical standpoint a bunch of stocks that will be on the very top of my personal watch list for the next trading session. So if you want to have access to, if you want to get the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to the channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. On our Instagram account, we are posting